Hey, book club besties!
From Scrubs to Book Club, we're two burnt out healthcare workers who love to yap about books. I'm Katie.
And I'm Star, and welcome to Aimless Attention Podcast.
Today is the start of April, which is Dark Romance Month.
Woo!
We are going to be talking...
Warnings!
Trigger warnings! Yeah, I would just say, spoiler. I just say, it's general thing for any book we're going to cover this month. Definitely check the triggers on all these books because it is dark romance. It is dark intentionally. So today, to start off Dark Romance Month, we are going to be covering Leave Me Behind by K.O. Moronova. This is a standalone in the Dark Forces universe. I have just recently fallen into the K.O. Moronova I absolutely love her writing.
She tripped and fell.
I tripped and fell into it. I think it was on Instagram or TikTok that I was seeing because she draws all of her covers and stuff. Like all of her art is her. So I was seeing
Katie's just jealous.
Oh my God. I wish I could do that. I wish I could draw.
In her head, she can see it.
I just can't.
She just needs an artistic hand that can see her drawing.
Exactly. But she's so incredible with her art. And so I saw this person that kept posting this art for these different books. And I was like, ooh, that sounds really good. And Leave Me Behind was it. And it turned out it was actually K.O. Moronova posting about it. So now I just love following her because she's always dropping new, basically fan art, but it's all her art. So it's all OG character art, it's all real. And it's exactly how the author pictures it, which I think is so cool. Without further ado, the book that made Star angry that I made her read it, like every other book. This is Leave Me Behind. We open up the book 2 years ago in Patagonia, and we are in Bones' POV. We're going to go between Bones and Bunny. Bones is Bradshaw and Bunny is Nell or Penelope. I guess we should just start off by talking about what the Dark Forces is.
Yeah,
so
it'd probably be easier.
Yeah, let's just go from
kind of a
background.
Weird...
So the Dark Forces are in the U.S. military. There's this underground force that is working, basically that does all of the dirty work that the military couldn't do above grade, right? So
I wouldn't be surprised if this is real, though. When she writes this, I was like, this is real? I feel like this is real. I feel like there's some weird sick, the CIA is hey, we're gonna totally contract you to do this.
Yeah. So what the U.S. government does is they seek out people who are beyond repair.
Right.
At this point. They are people who have committed horrible acts, who have killed people, who have just are malicious in the way that they are, because they need people who are, first of all, not scared to die, and don't give two shits about anybody else.
Yeah.
So they get recruited to this underground military force, and we will actually cover another 2 books in the Dark Forces universe during Dark Romance Month, but where we'll get more of a backstory of kind of what they are, because they serve as prequel books to Leave Me Behind. The interesting thing is that all of these people are just so savage, essentially. And we'll see that. So what happens is there's multiple different squads. So there's Hades, Malum, Riot, and I think there's another one that I'm forgetting. But those, we'll see Hades, Riot, and Malum are our main ones that we'll be talking about in this book. Those squads will rotate out as well, depending on what they're doing. The main thing, though, is that Riot is primarily there to take out other Dark Force ops people.
It's just weird, right? You're literally, your job is just to kill the other people that are
They're to get out smoke out the rats, basically. And there is on the front of this book, there is the byline of the only good Riot soldier is a dead one. So that is going to play into this book pretty quickly here. So we open up 2 years ago in Patagonia. The Malum squad has been tasked to go, I think it was a hostage situation they were trying to deal with or something like that. I don't remember the full background on exactly what type of mission they were on, but they were supposed to meet up with Riot to an extraction point or something like that to cover each other. Riot never made it. And Bones, his partner, gets shot. This is Abram. And Abram is dying, and Bones will take off his mask, because Bones always wears a mask. It's like a skeleton mask or a black mask. The name Bones. But he has his identity concealed there's a couple reasons for it, but one of them is because he is so dangerous that he's supposed to be this scary kind of person that nobody knows who he is, right? That's just part of his appeal, I guess, is that he is so dangerous and so wild that he's just concealed. And he doesn't train with anybody else. I think he doesn't shower with anybody else.
Yeah, no, he's completely like...
His identity has been concealed from the Malum squad. And again, that there will be extra as to why that is the case. So we'll talk about it in a little bit. But he's watching watching Abram die. And we notice right off the bat, Abram is a very, very important person to him. We don't quite know exactly how important he is, other than that he's his partner in Patagonia. In this flashback, Abram dies. He was shot, and then we cut forward to 2 years later, and Bunny is getting on a plane because she was in the riot squad, and her whole squad died, except for her.
I have to tell you, I think I screwed this up when I read this. Like, I didn't realize that was his partner that died.
Yeah, it was Bones' number 2.
I thought it was her partner that died.
Yes. So,
no, but I mean, like, when I was listening to it in Audible, I don't think I caught that.
Oh.
So as you're talking, I'm like, I don't caught any of that. Like,
so we'll actually find out.
I'm wondering if it was in the Audible.
It was. So you find out actually at the end, towards the end of this book, that she was the one who killed Abram.
No, I knew that, but I'm saying, like, I didn't realize that that's how it was. Like,
okay,
I guess like it was a weird. That's why I was like staring at you, like, oh,
like
what's happening? Because I was like, I don't know. I thought it was just her, like. And then that's how they end up on the plane. I didn't realize that it was all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Well, and we find out. So part of being in the Dark Force is that you have to serve for a certain amount of time, either until you die or you get your cards. And your cards are this, your ticket out into the real world, right? You've served enough that the military is like, all right, you've done you've served your jail time, quote unquote, for all the horrible shit you've done. You've done your service. Now you're free to go, right? And so everyone in the Dark Forces is working towards earning their cards to get out.
Yeah.
So what she found out was that right before Riot went out on that mission was if they had been successful, she would have earned her cards. So that's like a big deal for her. The fact that she's been stuck in this, but she's also kind of in this weird limbo where they didn't put her on a new squad for a while. And then she got called back in by General Nolan, who is the overall arching person that is in charge of the Dark Forces. So she's getting on a plane and she's talking about how like this is kind of her last hurrah in civilization, right? So she gets on a plane. She notices, first of all, that she gets to her seat and there's somebody sitting in her seat. And then there's another person. There's only the middle seat left and just 2 gigantic men.
I know. I thought this was cute, though. I was like, hey.
Yeah. And so she's she's trying to like sneak across and she ends up falling into one of the guys' laps.
I mean, because they're like literally like if you've been on a plane, it's like, and then you're like, let me squeeze through.
2 giant men, man-spreading.
But like, I can just see them like.
Yeah. And
especially if they're like any other normal guy, they're like
exactly, just full on man spreading. And so she gets in there, and he's got his headphones on, his hood up, and everything. So she can't really see him, and that's who she falls into the lap of, which will be Bradshaw. We find out later. And then she goes to sit, and then the guy next to her starts kind of laughing, and she's like, "What the fuck, dude?" And then she meets Aaron. And she starts talking to Aaron, and they're kind of like flirting and talking and everything like that for the whole plane ride. And Bradshaw, meanwhile, is just like, whatever. And she's like, what's up with him? And she's like, oh, that's my brother, whatever. She'll realize they're twins because the first thing she saw when she fell into Bradshaw was how vibrantly blue his eyes were.
Yeah, I know.
And then she'll look at Aaron and be like, what? You were sitting there. And he's like, no, that's me. We're just twins. Like, and so they're identical twins. When they land I think they're in California for this. We'll be in Alaska for other Dark Forces things, but they're in California for their training. And so she's going to join the Malum squad, who was the opposite squad of Riot that was supposed to meet in Patagonia. And she's also told the same thing that Malum never showed up to help them. She ends up going out. Aaron's like, why don't you come out with us? And she's like, okay, sure. So then she goes out and goes to a club with them. And she's dancing with Aaron, and after a while, he's like, oh, I'm going to go get a drink. And she's like, okay, like, bring me back whatever it was with the top on or whatever, and like, it's sealed. And he's like, you're smart. And she's like, yeah, I know. And she's like, I'm not going to get fucking drugged by you. And then she's kind of dancing with other guys during that time. And then she looks across the club, and Bradshaw's just staring bullets at her. And then he ends up, I think some other guy he starts kind of grinding on her. And so she starts dancing with him, and he comes over and like shoves the guy off, and he's like, she's mine. And they end up leaving, and then they sleep together and stuff. And she's like, okay, bye. And he's like, you're kicking me out? Like, okay. And for Bradshaw, usually, and he even said like, this is just sex. And she's like, Yeah, I know. Like, it's
well,
just
what I
sex.
thought was really funny was she was like, "This is my last hooray."
Yeah, this
like
is, like-
before I go back into like the dark forces, she was. But didn't and maybe my brain is just like really like screwing it up. But I thought she was screwing Aaron.
No. So she had planned to screw Aaron.
That's what it was. Okay, because
She
I was
planned
thinking,
to-
I was like, it was Aaron that was her intent. Like,
Yeah. She had full intents and purposes. She was going to go after Aaron, and then Bradshaw snuck in. And then Aaron's like, I totally wanted you two to bang. Like, that, you guys are just meant to bang. And so she's like, okay, whatever.
they're so fucking. I can't do it. I can't. The story just the brothers bother me. Okay, so yes, so then they screw, but while they're screwing around or whatever, she's just like in her head was just like, this is my last hooray. Like, I don't give a fuck, right? And then he's like, this is just sex, and she's like, yeah, duh, fucking idiot. Like, we're just literally like, what do you think? Like, women aren't allowed to just fucking bang and like leave? I don't know why. It just really bothered me. It was such a sexist like comment off his part. I was like,
I know. And so she kind of is like, cool, thanks, roll off me, bye.
right? Like,
But it also,
out.
she's also like, this is the best sex I've ever had, right? And Bradshaw's also like, this is the best sex I've ever had.
Because they got like
And-
some weird, sick fucking, like they were.
Well, and we also will learn that she kind of mentions that the only guy she's really like had a connection with has been Jenkins, who was Jenkins when she was on the riot squad when she first joined, was her superior.
Which she should not have been sleeping with.
No.
God.
And she was getting picked on by everybody, and she was just kind of barely making it. And so he would hold her when she was crying, and he was like
Yeah.
this source
What
of
is
comfort
this?
for her.
What do we call this? Predatory?
Grooming. Grooming. So
Jeez.
yeah, he totally groomed her. But he was like, I see myself in you, and I'm going to train you to be the monster
Yeah,
that you are.
I see myself in you. In you.
Well, he called her a reaper.
I
He
know.
was like, "You're my reaper" and stuff. And so he trained her to be a really both in close combat and as a sniper, very, very deadly. But she has this weird relationship with Jenkins where she like knows that it was inappropriate, but also was kind of in love with him. But also he wasn't sweet with her. Like he was just
Because
kind of, like,
she was a child. Wasn't she like 17 or something?
No, I don't think she was that young. I think she was an adult, but she still like she was very young and naive for sure. And Jenkins was just,
Not.
no.
Creeper.
Jenkins was not. And
Fucking
they're
creepers.
I cannot wait for you to read the Dark Forces duet because there's so much more I can't wait to talk
Oh
about.
my God.
And but yeah, so they sleep together. She's again kind of remembering Jenkins during this. And then he's like, do you want to, he's like, are you hungry? Like, let's go. So they end up going to a diner and they have like kind of some really nice conversation and stuff. Waitress was kind of like checking him out the whole time.
Yeah, because he's fucking fine.
And so they have this whole dinner together, and then he realizes that he like they're walking and they're both kind of tiptoeing around what they do for work and like why they're there. And then he has an epiphany where he's like, oh shit, you're the bunny.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was really weird. I was like, you know, like he just looked at her and was like, yeah, you're so and so.
Yeah, and she's like, fuck. And so now they're both like, well, and he's like, no one's supposed to know my identity on this squad, first of all.
Yeah.
And then now she's like, cool, now I'm starting off this whole thing with an enemy. That's great. Like,
She's just got a thing with banging her fucking people on her team, man.
she really does.
She was like,
But
let me
I
just
guess
bang another one.
it's kind of like prison. Like, what else are you gonna do?
I don't know. I've never been to prison.
I
Just,
don't know.
I'm
I
like,
haven't either,
and I
but,
was like, work out? Like,
but if that's all you're surrounded by, I mean, they do like stay on military bases, but they're like away from everybody, so it's not like they're like interacting with the military.
I was just like I was just thinking, get like a soap of sock and just start beating people. I don't know. I was like, I have no idea what they do. Watch too many fucking movies.
So they end up going, and she walks in, and Aaron is the not superintendent. I'm thinking of the stupid firefighter. Okay. So Aaron is their sergeant. He's in charge of everything. And then she looks down, and Bradshaw's got a mask on, and they're like, this is Bones. And she's like, cool.
I just hate her fucking nickname. I hate that everybody has a nickname, first of all, and I hate her fucking nickname.
Well, they named it, so the squad chooses her name. So they named her Bunny because she's like this
but
breakable
I just
little
hate
thing
it.
or
Like, it was
whatever.
just like,
She gets introduced to all of the other players in the game as well, the people on her squad, who all hate her to begin with because she's an ex-riot soldier.
and she's also replacing like their buddy,
Yes.
which they took a long time to like put somebody in that spot. And the other reason why was, didn't they blame her for him dying?
Yeah, because they blamed Riot for not showing up.
Yeah. Okay.
And they basically get told, okay, so we're not going to go on a mission quite yet because we have to train as a squad.
Yes.
So they start doing their first like training missions. One of the, I can't remember if it happens before or after, but they do like a training mission. I think it goes bad. So they do this like obstacle course in the wilderness where they're paired up and they basically are like, you have to get to the end with your partner or you fail, and whoever fails has to be on watch duty overnight. Bones is like, cool, I'm going to leave this bitch here. So he's like, I need you to help me up this wall and then I'll reach down and grab you because I'm stronger than you. And she's like, that doesn't make any sense. And he's like, it does. And so she like gives him a boost and then he's like, peace out, bitch, I'm done. So she ends up actually figuring out how to get out of there and stuff and shows up, and then he's all pissed because she didn't like die out in the wilderness or like anything.
No, because
like
he wanted her. He was like, yes, leave her, she'll die, she'll get lost, she'll survive.
I have to say, this is definitely a bully romance. He says horrible things to her the whole time. Like, they are definitely not the best pairing ever, but there's like this weird attraction. Both of them like also can't fight, so it's kind of a strange situation overall.
Yeah.
What happens is they get put on night watch, and then while they're doing that, he recruits two of the other people to pin her down, and I think were assuming he was just gonna scare her and try to get her to leave. But then Bones takes it way too far. He like cuts open her shirt and her sports bra, so he bears her to both of the guys, and they're all kind of like snickering about it. And then he takes his knife and starts carving into her side, and they're both like, whoa, Bones, this is like way too much, man. And then Bones is sitting over the top of her, and she can feel his erection pushing on her.
I know, this is just, to me, was just...
She's talking about how turned on she is about getting carved up.
I know! That's why I was like, what are we fucking... Oh my God. I was just... When I was reading this, I was like, Katie literally made me read this.
I was like, oh my God. So I was telling you that when I read this as a physical copy, and I think my brain like is able to just go, that's bad, flip the page. But then like,
no,
for some of this stuff
in the Audible, it's like, and he's like, he was just carving down her side,
it's
and
so
the blood
much
was just
worse.
dripping, and his cock was touching her body.
And I was just like, oh God.
I think his hard erection was pressing against her torso.
She said she could feel
I feel
the
like
bulges.
that's how it always is. It's like it was just rubbing on her. He was dry humping her while he was showing her his, I don't know.
He was fully clothed. There were two other men there.
I know. I'm saying like that's how it's always like.
No, it was.
That's how every like you're over here just like skip 5 chapters. I'm over here like, and then it was rubbing up and down.
It was so
bad. It was grinding on her.
Like I said, I think on the first read, I was like, wow, that's horrible. Turn the page. And then in the audiobook, I'm just like, oh God.
Yeah. In the audiobook, you're like, oh my God.
It's just like it's coming down on me.
Yeah. You're like, you can't get away from it. You're like, oh my God.
It's
my ears.
So I think it's definitely like, I guess it's an interesting thing to think about is like how we process information versus like when you read it versus when you hear it. It's like totally different. But
no, you can totally just glide over shit.
Yeah. So my brain obviously was like, that's funny. Not funny, but like, that's different. Move on. And she's like, my brain at the time was like, huh, interesting kink. Moving on. That's your thing, not mine. Moving on. But yeah, no, the audiobook is just... So anyways, that happens. She like kind of bandages herself and makes sure she's not bleeding because she's like, I know I need stitches, but I can't say I need stitches because then Aaron's going to send me back and I can't. Like, I'm not getting kicked off the squad. She's like made it her mission because they're all like, we just want you to quit.
Right. But I gotta be honest, it just reminds me of like, I don't know, that's my stubborn, like, oh, you want me to quit? I'm gonna stay longer.
I think before this too, they were doing, they were like fighting in like a fighting ring, just like training. And Bones had like, or she was fighting everybody and was kind of like doing what Aelin does in Throne of Glass, where she like plays with her food. And then like beat the shit out of all of them, and then Bradshaw came in and then like pinned her and all that kind of stuff. So that was like Bradshaw finally.
Yeah, but nobody's allowed to know how Bradshaw like fights, remember?
Yeah.
Because she does figure it out later, like how he fights and then gets better. But yeah, he doesn't train with anybody.
Yeah.
So you don't get like any of his like, so the other guy she trained with, she saw all of their like moves. So she was like, yeah, whatever, you're stupid. Like,
yeah. So she had to
come
go
at me,
blind.
bitches. Like,
yeah. Cause she's like, everyone knows I'm a sniper, but they don't know that I was actually trained in close combat as well.
Yeah.
that's part of it. They have like a big fight. There's more like these two get off on pain and like beating the shit out of each other. So it's like their thing. um, and then they have this hostage situation where they have to do these like fake missions and stuff. And so she's like, this is my time to shine. So she like takes out everybody as a sniper and all this stuff. And she's like celebrating that she did like this awesome job. And then Bone sneaks up behind her and is like, somebody would have already killed you by now. And then he ends up he's like, I'm going to kill her. And then I think is this the time where he tries to choke her? I think he does. He goes to put his hands around her throat and she's like, fuck that. So she fights him and then they end up like rolling in the brambles and they fall off like a cliff together. They beat the shit out of each other. And then after that, he has his blood on her blood on his hands and he runs off and he goes and jerks off in the woods with her blood.
No, I remember that. I'm trying to think no, I remember that. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they have to stay, they're staying in these little like tents in the woods basically after it because they have to get the hostages back, right? But so they want to not get ambushed by the other squad. It's like the whole thing.
Yeah. It's like a training exercise.
And so what happened was,
it's like war games.
It is like war games. So Bones has like an episode where he's just kind of like staring off in the distance. She's sitting around the campfire like talking about what happened with Riot and everything in Patagonia. And everyone's like, she's like, we got different orders. You guys were supposed to meet us. And they're like, no, you guys, you were supposed to help us. And she's like, that's not what happened. And she ends up telling the story about Jenkins and how there was an IED that blew up. And she was rescuing people out of the car. So she got Jenkins, who was her sergeant. So she's like, I need to get him out first, and then I can save everybody else. So she drags him out. And Jenkins had given her the opportunity. He said, leave me behind, which is what this comes from. And she ended up doing that. And so that's part of it. Was so shameful that she just left her team out there. And she was the only one that survived. So that was part of, beyond the fact that they all hate Riot. Riot's known for shooting with black bullets to kill other military ops or other Dark Force ops. So there's a lot of layers as to why these people hate her.
I mean, I get it, but
and so
literally what she gets orders for. It's not like
and they've been doing nothing but hazing her this entire
the whole time.
So and like doing horrible things, making sure she's like just put at a disadvantage at any point in time. This is the first time sitting at that campfire where they kind of let her talk and tell her story, and they're like, oh, maybe she's not as bad as we thought, but also she can see the change in demeanor in Bones when she does reveal that she left Jenkins. And that's huge for him because he lost his partner during that time. And she ends up going into the tent to check on him. And Aaron's like, oh, you can come in. Like, it's just him. And so Aaron was kind of sitting with him to help him out. And then he's like, I'm going to go. You just like keep watch over him. She's like, okay. And then they talk for a little bit. And then he ends up pulling her into his lap. And then he was like, I jerked off with your blood earlier.
I know. I don't understand. Like, who tells you that? Like, they're so fucking weird. They tell each other, and I just remember like he like went behind a tree or something. It was just so.
He literally like ran off into the woods and then sat down with his back against a tree and then jerked off because he was just so attracted to her. And in that moment with all the fight that they had at each other,
it's just so gross.
I just remember reading that and I was like, I texted you. I was like, holy shit, I forgot about this scene.
I didn't forget about it. I just wanted to not remember.
You're like, thank you.
No, when you reminded me, I was like, oh, I already remembered that. Like, oh.
You're like, why are we talking about this?
Yeah, just so gross.
And so he pulls her into his lap. They're kind of like having this heart to heart. He pulls her into this lap and he's like, I jerked off with your blood in the woods. And she's like, okay.
The fact that she didn't care just bothered me more.
He's like, your blood's still all over my dick from when I jerked off with it. And she's just like, huh, that's kind of hot. We're like, no, it's not. But okay. And then he's like, I want you to clean my dick off. And he's like, in his head, he's like, I can't stop thinking about how hot it would be for her to take her blood back into her body. It's so gross. I don't know. I enjoyed this book, but there's some things
it didn't bother me. It's just, I don't know. It's just so like,
it's so crude and vulgar, right?
Yeah, to talk about. Like, to read it, you're like, yeah. But to talk about it, you're like, oh, yeah.
And then we're like, and read the book.
Yeah, right.
So, anyways, she's like, oh, so, and then he like lifts her up and he's got a knife pointed right.
Sorry, I'm trying not to yawn. I swear to God, I should drink more of that fucking bitch.
That's fine. She's got a knife pointed at her crotch. And she's like, stills, and he's like, don't move unless you want a knife in your cunt.
Which really was like, I don't know. These people have like fucking, I don't know. I have no words for this story because like they like get off on pain, but then they do weird shit like that. And you're just like, but wait a minute. Like if you get off on the pain, are you going to want that to like, I don't know. They just, my brain's just like, I can't.
So she holds still. He cuts her pants and then he's like, I'll leave your underwear because you need it to keep my cum inside. I just love the look on your face.
Because I was just thinking, like, pregnancy. We have this conversation all the time. These goddamn women.
Well, wait a second, because she says, how do you know I'm not on birth control? And he says, no one in their right mind would be in the dark forces without birth control.
I know. I'm just saying. I don't care. Like, goddamn. Birth control doesn't work that well. I hate all of these people.
So they have more. He's like, I want to ruin you in every way.
Oh my God. That one bothers me. I hate that kink. I'm sorry. I don't want to be ruined for, I don't know.
And then she's like
my shit to be intact. Thanks.
There's so many times where he's pressing violently onto my cervix and I'm like, ow.
Yeah. Right.
He's like, you'll take all of me and you'll take it rougher. I'm just sitting there like, this is not at all. Like, ouch, the whole time. I get that she likes it.
Like they like it because they're fucked up. Like they're just like, yeah, daddy, take me the wrong side. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's it's just rough the whole time. And then he fucks her so bad she can't walk. So then he like she falls asleep and then she wakes up to him setting her down by the river and she's like, he's gonna drown me.
Yeah, right? Because you're like, yeah.
She's like, this guy can't decide if he wants to fuck me or kill me or both. And he's like,
he wants to do both. Is what it is.
He wants to do both. And so he's like, we can't. He's like, everyone else is asleep and we need to clean up. And she's like, oh, okay. So he tenderly cleans her in the river and she's like, this is so diametrically opposed to like everything that just happened. And then I think they end up sleeping in the same tent together. She finds another pair of pants somewhere, obviously. I don't know when that happened. But she had already talked about when he had cut off her shirt and her sports bra that she doesn't have very many clothes. So like he just keeps ripping holes or like cutting apart her clothing.
He's just like, it's okay, honey. You don't need to wear clothes. Just walk around naked. The other men won't look.
But also, I hate you.
I'll gouge their eyes out. Don't you stress about it. They won't be able to see you. I'll just make sure they have nothing. Jeez Louise.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right? And then I hate you at the same time.
I can't remember.
Okay. He hates her because she took his partner away from him.
That was the other thing. So they kind of have more moments where they're talking about. She ends up opening up about Jenkins to him, and he ends up opening up more about Abram. And and in his mind, in his POVs, he'll say like, "My precious Abram."
I know, but it's creepy.
My
like,
Abram.
He refers to him in a very like. These brothers have some seriously, like, what the fuck? And okay, so I want to know their backstory, though, because it kind of touches on it, but, like, not enough.
Yeah, the backstory was that Aaron killed their mom.
Yes.
Or their aunt. It was like their parents died and the aunt took them over, and then, like, the aunt was cruel and was, like, beating them all the time, so Aaron killed them, and then they, like, ended up... I think Aaron ended up being the more fucked up one to begin with, and then
but everybody thought Bradshaw was the fucked up one.
Bradshaw was like covering for him, and then they ended up in the dark forces.
Yes, but I guess like what I didn't understand was like his brooding personality as a child.
He said there was always something wrong with him.
Yeah, but Aaron's the one that fucking killed somebody. So who the fuck? Like, okay, first of all, second of all, he refers to his partner in ways that I would never refer to anybody. Like, okay, look at as a female looking at another female, I'd be like, damn, that's a very attractive. I can appreciate the physique and the things and the way she's dressed, those kinds of things, right? Do the same thing with a guy. But I'm not going to, that's not how I'm going to describe them.
Well, I think
precious, I'm going to be like.
Well, I think that's because it's not explicitly said, but I think that he and Abram had a romantic relationship outside of being partners. And I think that's what she's alluding to throughout all of this when she's writing it.
But she doesn't say it, first of all.
She doesn't.
And then what about his fucking brother, like, wanting to fuck him? Dude, I swear to God.
We'll get into that.
This whole story is just creepy.
So there is a time where I may be mixing up the timeline of this because right now this book is mixing up in my head. But because they have so many training missions that they go on, that there are certain moments that's come out of it. Like the knife isn't a thing. The woods jerking off and then the blood sex thing are all kind of like stick in my head as things. There's another training situation where she gets shot in a training situation, and then she's out. So then she gets put on like the hostile squad, and then they're testing out a new second for Bones. And she's the sniper on the hostile squad, and then she just snipes every single one of them, and she hits Bones first.
Yeah.
And after he gets hit, he stays on the ground, and she's like, "That's weird. I didn't hit him that bad. I hit him in the helmet, but like it's not that bad, right?" And they're shooting like fake bullets, so
Yeah.
like red powder, right?
You know, like, what is it, paintball?
Like paintball, basically, yeah. And so she took out the entire Malum squad, and then that was basically like her ammunition to say like, "Hey, you can't get rid of me. You guys, first of all," she's like, "I can tell General Nolan every fucking thing you guys have done to me, and I'm a favorite of his, so fuck you." And second of all, like, there's nobody better than me that can do this job. So that was proving that all at that time. But Bones stays on the ground for longer than expected. And then Bones ends up in the infirmary for a while. And I think it's Jefferson who comes out, and he finally, while she's waiting in the waiting room for Bones to come out, is like, "Hey, I'm sorry. Like, we fucked up. You're part of our squad. We didn't mean to like make this such a big thing, you know? Like, we're sorry for the fact that we did all this," right? And like, not really apologizing. I don't think he ever said we're sorry,
No,
but like
really.
in
Like,
the way that you would expect those types of men to be able to apologize,
right?
Is like as far as he went. We find out later that Bones had been drugged. He had an injection mark in his neck after he was shot down. So they find out that there's some sort of mole or person in Malum that's a traitor, and they don't know which one it is yet. So they are all as a team. They're going to get shipped out to do their next mission, and they enter civil. They are on a military base for a little bit, and they are in California, I believe, and they're near where Aaron and Bradshaw grew up. And so Aaron's like, "Why don't we go to the diner?" And she's like, "Are we allowed to leave base?" And he's like, "It doesn't matter." But he had mentioned like, "What would you do if you weren't in the Dark Forces?" And she's like, I would own a coffee shop and a bookstore combo, and I would have a family and all this kind of stuff. Like, she would have a normal life. And he makes comments about how would she like to wear dresses and stuff, and she's like, "I mean, I guess." So he's like, "Let's go to the diner and I'll buy you a dress." This is all Aaron.
I was going to say, Aaron said this. I thought first for a second, thought you were saying it was Bradshaw. And I was like, Bradshaw's like not this, like, yes. So he like, yes.
Yeah, so they go to the diner,
Yes.
and then they go to the beach afterwards.
But see, he's their sergeant, so he's just like, this is an order.
Yeah, basically. So they go to the beach, and then Bradshaw's surfing. So then Bradshaw ends up taking her out on the ocean. She's like, I don't like the ocean. I'm scared of the ocean." And he's like, "You're not
This
supposed
one
to tell
pisses
me
me
your
off.
fears."
Yeah.
And then he goes to shove her in the water, but she shoves him in the water, and then he drags her with. And he's like, "What are you scared of?" And she's like, "Sharks," because she had watched children get eaten by sharks. Like, her whole childhood was fucked up too. And they kind of connect up, and he's being like a brat to her and stuff. And he's like, "But you didn't think about the ocean at all during that whole time, right?"
I fucking hate him so much. Yeah, but sharks are very not likely to eat you. Like, you're more likely to get in a car accident than a fucking shark eating you.
That was kind
Just
of his
irritated
point too.
me, but that's not how you handle it. And their whole fucking sick relationship just
They are like the I mean, I guess pretty much every dark romance relationship is just like, how toxic can you two be together to where you're just out toxicing each other the whole time, you know? So they have those moments of kind of connection, and then he's like, "I'll teach you how to surf," blah blah blah. And for us a little bit, she does get to see like the Bradshaw she saw in the diner before he was back to being his like cold self, right? And then they get back on the beach, and she's like, "Did you know he was out here?" And he's like, "Yeah," because Aaron's always just kind of shoving them together and then leaving. And then he's like, "Let's go get you that dress."
I still don't understand why Aaron's always, I mean, I do because of the end of the book, but the whole time I was like, the fuck is wrong with his brother?
Aaron's so weird. And then she ends up getting this like yellow dress, and then she's sharing quarters with Aaron because there's no bunk for her to sleep in. He's like, "I have another bed, so I'll just get clearance for you to sleep in there, and we'll just call it good." And she's like, "Okay, that's fine, I guess." Like, she's been in the Dark Forces. She's bunked with men forever, so she's like, "This is not like an unusual thing for me to have to do, whatever." So she's like, she even like gets undressed in front of him or everything, and that's fine. Like, that's just like part of life. But she's wearing the like little yellow sundress that he got her, and he's like, "I'm gonna go take a shower, I'll be back." And so then he leaves, and then Bradshaw comes in to talk to Aaron, and Bradshaw doesn't know that they're sharing a room. So then Bradshaw's immediately like, what the fuck are you doing in here, right? And she's like, I'm staying here. Like, this is my room. I don't know what to tell you. And then he ends up...
I don't know why I thought this was a dressing room. In my head, I thought they were in the dressing room. I'm like, literally, like, you're telling the story, and I'm like, I thought they were in the dressing room.
But I
thought she was trying on the dresses, and Bradshaw came in and was like, how dare you, Aaron? I don't know why. I'm like, was like, that's what I was staring at you. I was like, I thought they were in the dressing room.
Well, so
but now that you've said that, they were in the room.
Their shared
room.
room.
But for some reason.
I was a little confused, though, too. Granted, I was listening to the audiobook at one
The
point.
audiobook did not help this story at all. Like,
I was so confused.
I'm so confused.
So I was listening to it, and she's like, I can't see the dress. And I was like, well, okay. I understand you're in this room that doesn't have mirrors, so you can't see the dress now. But did you not try on the dress
That's why I think I thought they were trying it on in the store, and then I couldn't understand why Bradshaw showed up. That makes more sense now. I'm like, good. This makes way more sense now, Katie, because I thought she was in the dressing room, and I was like, this corners is like, I don't know, very tiny. And then the situation happens, and I'm thinking, this is why I thought they were like... because I was so thinking that they were in, like, you know how small a dressing room is. I thought all three of them were in the dressing room.
Yeah.
This makes way more sense now. Okay, the audiobook really did fuck me up. Because I was like, Katie, but he was doing that and he was like in the room. Like, it was like, how are they not like, So my brain is like now understanding. That's why I was confused when we were talking about it the other day. And I was like sitting there like staring at you the other day. Because remember, I think we were talking about it and I was super fucking confused. Because you were like, no, they weren't like... It happened later. And I was like, swear to fucking God. No, because I didn't understand. Okay. Makes way more sense. Audiobook is terrible. That's all I have to say. Because I genuinely, okay, so just so you know, when the scene happens and he's banging her, I thought Aaron was like, okay, so you know, like you're on the chair. Yeah. Somebody's standing in front of the mirror. I thought they were in the mirror. And I was like, why is Aaron just fucking sitting in the chair just watching? That's why it didn't make sense. That's why I was staring at you at that the other day we were talking about it. And I was like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's not what happened. Okay. So
no, but the audiobook doesn't help because that's how it sounded. It sounded like she was trying to dress on in a dressing room.
I guess part of my problem with the audiobook too is I had to listen to it on 1.7 speed.
Yeah.
For me to not be bored. Because I think that the material...
I had it up pretty fast.
The material is really interesting. Like the story itself I enjoy. And I blew through this book because I loved it. The problem is that when you're listening to the audiobook, they talk like this.
Yes.
The whole way
the whole
through.
time.
And
I had to up it too. Yeah. But then you go too fast and then you miss stupid shit. You don't know what's going on. Think that they're banging in a in a fucking room. Okay, it makes way more sense now. So they're in the tent. They're on the military base, so they're in the actual room. Okay, like, so they're not in the Okay.
Yeah, because the sergeant has his
you have
own
to understand.
quarters.
Like now you get why I thought that like his brother was like.
So, but what does happen is Bradshaw comes in and is like, "Why are you wearing that dress?" And she's like, "Just fuck off. Your brother bought me a dress, whatever." And he's like, "Blah, blah, blah, blah," you know.
I mean, your brother bought you a dress is like already like
it's still weird. It's fucking weird.
I agree, it is weird. That's what I'm saying. But so, now you understand my weird convenience to this situation, right?
Is she not wearing underwear?
I don't think she ever wears underwear.
I don't think she was. Well, she did because he had to keep her coming with the other underwear. So, I think she's not wearing underwear in this. I don't remember if she is.
It doesn't go well with the dress that doesn't have any panty lines.
Oh no, she does. She's wearing underwear. I remember this because there's a thing later I'll talk about in just a second. She is wearing underwear. He like shoves her down on the bed and she's like, "What is your problem, Bradshaw? Like, I don't understand. You're an absolute dick to me and then you want to fuck me and I don't understand what's going on, right?"
Because that's my absolute dickness, right? Yeah. Like my dick needs to be absolutely inside of you.
And then he pushes her there and then he's like, "Suck my cock." And she's like, "Okay." So she like gets down and he's like, "Play with your putty pussy while I do it." You know, like he just love me saying all this stuff. And so
that one just was a gross, like, I don't know why. Like, I could just picture it was the worst part.
So she's sucking him off and then Aaron walks in right when Bradshaw starts coming. And Bradshaw like turns and sees him and she's just sitting there swallowing his cup.
Okay, but now do you understand why I thought this was happening in the room? And I thought he was just like, yeah, all right.
Well, he kind of is. So
no, like, but I was thinking that like he's standing here, she's giving head, and he's just like.
It's not as bad.
Like that's way worse. Now you understand why I thought that, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
No, that's significantly worse.
Okay.
No, so Aaron walks in and he's like, oh, what's going on here? And then she like finishes swallowing him down, pops off and is like, oopsies. And then Bradshaw's like, we're done here, and like shoves himself back in his pants and leaves.
Yeah, because he's done. He's like, I did what I needed to do.
And then she looks over and he's like, well, he says, so you going to take care of that or do you need help? And she's like, because she's like sitting there holding her thighs together and stuff. And he's like, she was turned on by sucking him off, obviously. And then she looks over and he's hard. He's like, I'm just a man. I'm like, what do you mean you're just a man? You walked in on your brother, your fucking twin brother, getting sucked off, and you're like, that's hot.
I don't know. We're not guys, so maybe that really is hot. I don't know. But my brain, I would be grossed out. I would have turned around and I would have walked away. I don't know why. Like this really bothered me. I get that it's supposed to be dark, and I appreciate the writing. It just, my brain was like, I can't.
This scene, though, I like the other scenes I can like move on past. It's a dark romance. You expect fucked up shit, right? You expect, he's got a blood. Yeah, well,
it's better than thinking that he's in a fucking. Because I swear to God, I thought he was in the dressing room, which made it worse. Because I just kept thinking you literally were like. While your brother's like, I don't know. That's how I thought it went down. I was so confused. I'm so glad you've explained it to me, but it still doesn't make it fucking better.
No, and it's just like, this was the one scene out of this book, and it sticks out in my brain.
It sticks out in my brain, but in a dressing room. Like, that's what makes it worse.
Yeah, but it sticks out in my brain because the other stuff, my brain can go, it's a dark romance. Weird shit happens. You just have to understand they have different kinks than you. They're fucked up. They're into stuff like that, whatever. So there's like a part of myself that turns off and says, okay, the rational side of my brain is not here for this because that's not what this book's about. I'm here for the vibe. They're going to do some weird shit. Yeah. Whatever. It's their thing. I don't care. I don't kink shame. Whatever. Here's your thing. This was the one that I was just like, what is going on? Because he says, are you going to do something about that or do you want help? And she's like, okay. So then he sits on her bed, just pulls his cock out and starts jerking himself. And then she's like, okay. So then she starts touching herself and she's like, it's not enough. I need friction. And so they're literally just having a conversation, just flat out talking about whatever. I don't even remember what it was because I was too like, what the fuck's going on about it? But it was literally just like how's the weather today type conversation. There was nothing hot about it. There was nothing like whatever. It was just like how are you today? Okay. What's going on?
So she did a little better than I thought she was going to do because I thought they were going to sit down on the bed next to each other and then she was going to do this and he was going to do that. Just to like, I
don't know that it's any better because they're each doing it themselves. And then she's like, it's not enough. So then she reaches forward and grabs his hand off of his cock and then he leans down over the top of her and then they do a mutual rubbing situation.
I know. It's just, I think it would have been better if they would have like hand to hand it. Like, just literally like her hand and then his hand. I think it would have been better. Like they just sat next to each other and they just, because this way it's almost like she's fucking Bradshaw.
I know. Well, like, that's the thing too, is the whole time she's sitting there just like, it looks like Bradshaw's cock too, but it's not Bradshaw. She's just like, I wish this was Bradshaw, not Aaron, but it looks enough like him. I'm just like, this is so fucked. Like all of this is insane. I could not handle it. So that's the one thing in this book that I was just like, no.
Okay, but here's my other thought. Like, what the fuck is going on in your twisted ass brain that, do you want to fuck your brother? Like, I'm telling you, they have a weird fucking, and it's not like a weird twin thing. There's like a weird like.
And it's Aaron to Bradshaw. It's not Bradshaw to Aaron.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
It's not the other
way. But even when they talk about like their childhood, Aaron's always like got that little twinge like, that's my twin.
It's just so
that's
bizarre.
My twin.
Ugh, it grosses me out. I don't understand it. So yeah, they do that, and I'm just like, I understand that they're not in a relationship. Like I get that they're not in a exclusive relationship. There's nothing that says that they're only supposed to be monogamous with each other.
No, but you're not supposed to fuck his brother.
Right? Like I just feel like at some point, just like. At some point, isn't Bradshaw gonna figure out something happened?
I don't know. Like, I guess if they didn't, I guess she could be like, he didn't penetrate me. I don't know. Like,
it wasn't real sex. It's like we're doing like the high school. Like, I didn't actually cheat on you. It was over the bra. Like, like that's
we just dry humped. It's okay.
We just dry humped. It's like soaking.
Yeah.
It's not real sex because we weren't moving.
That one. I know. I get it. I just.
It's like soaking. Okay, that's exactly what this is.
That's
like,
just no. I need more than that. Like, oh my god,
so weird. But I was just like, okay, whatever.
Okay.
So then they end up going on their mission. They found out they're going mission black. And she's like, I've never been on mission anything below mission red, which is 2 levels above mission black. Mission black is we send you out, you're not coming back alive.
Yeah.
And so there's these people called the ghosts that have taken over a bunch of stuff. And there's people in the underground that are working with the ghosts, basically. So it's like a whole big scheme that's been a problem. They go out on this, and then they end up getting attacked. And they get ambushed, and I think she and Bradshaw managed to get out. But she's like, she recognizes one of the guys on their squad. She's like, the guy who was talking was not him, and I know he's the mole. So she ends up killing him, and it's like a whole thing. A bunch of them die. I think Jefferson is still alive, Aaron's still alive, and then she and Bones are still alive. And then they end up, I think there's maybe one more guy that's still alive. I can't remember the name. But she and him end up escaping. I think she wakes up and she's tied up. Like she passed out and she wakes up and he's tied up. Because he's like, why did you kill whoever? And she's like, he was the mole. He was the one who was doing everything. And then he gets radioed by Aaron, and Aaron's like, you have to kill her or like exterminate her, exterminate the bunny or whatever. And so then he turns to her and she's like,
it sounds a lot easier than if you kill the bunny, right? You're not killing a person, you're killing a bunny.
And so
just snap its neck.
She's like, which has been Aaron's plan all along, is to get her killed, right?
Yeah, I know.
So because
Aaron's a sick fucking bastard.
Yeah, and
I don't want you. My brother wants you, but then I want you murdered.
It's so bad. So Bradshaw looks at her and she's tied up. She's like, I can't fight you. And he just looks at her and he looks distraught. And then he puts his hands around her neck and tries to choke her. And he's like, I can't do it. And he punches the like ground next to her.
Have sex with her because now I can't like kill her. I swear to God, that's like his whole thing. If I can't kill her, I have to have sex with her.
I have to sleep with her if I can't kill her. He is obviously battling with the fact that he's in love with her at this point, but he doesn't want to be in love with her because his last partner died because of riot and blah 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 blah. And so he tries, I think, 2 or 3 times to kill her in this moment, and then he gives up and is like, I can't do it. He ends up taking her to an underground bunker that he said Aaron knew about. So then he gets in and she's like, I probably should have paid attention to what the code was to get in here because now I'm like just stuck with this guy, right? And so that they stay in this bunker, they like eat canned food, they take a shower together, they fuck a couple times. Like it's just, the thing that they do.
Because I can't kill her, I have to fuck her. I told you. It's literally the story. I can't kill her, I have to fuck her.
But they have more like heart-to-hearts, and I think he accepts that she actually knew that he was the mole. And he actually explains that he and Aaron have been doing like a side thing that Aaron's been doing where it's like arms deals or whatever that are outside the Black Ops, or not Black Ops, outside of the Dark Forces, which puts them in massive jeopardy because it's like a huge no-no, obviously. It's like black market shit. They end up escaping out of the bunker after they get attacked, but the ghosts end up capturing them. And they get let in, and she's like, okay, I'm prepared for whatever torture I'm going to face. She gets put into this room. This guy, like, gets all, she calls him Handsy because he keeps, like, cupping her and, like, threatening to do horrible things to her, all this stuff. She's in this room, and she's waiting to listen for Bradshaw because Bradshaw got the shit beat out of him by these guys. And then she's like, I realize that he's not on this floor with me. She stays in there for a while, and she gets brought up, and then they are in this room and Hansy is going off about things and she's like, I assume he's the leader because he's like talking to everything. They're arguing back and forth, and then Bradshaw's like basically passed out and like not even looking at her because he's like, this is my fault, mine and Aaron's fault for interacting with these guys that were even here, right? So he's like, I can't stand to even look at her, and she's like trying to catch his eye, like, what's going on? And then Hansy takes his dick out and is like basically going to make her suck him off in front of everybody. And so she's kind of... and
I don't understand this. Okay, I have to just point this out. As a guy, your dick and my teeth, like, I just, like, my brain is like, you're not... That's, like, the worst, like... I don't know. Like, am I crazy? Like...
I think he even makes a point, no teeth, I think he says to her, and has a gun on
saying,
her.
Like, I don't give a shit. You're fucking blowing my brains out. I'm fucking biting down. As soon as it gets anywhere near me, I'm chomping.
But Bradshaw...
I'm like Hot Dog City.
I think we're in Bradshaw's POV, but he's sitting there like, he's going to make her do that in front of everybody. That's so degrading. Like, that's the point of it, right? Then, the door slams open, and in walks in a very put-together man with blonde hair. and his hair is perfectly done and everything like that. And it's Jenkins.
I know. I was just like, but you were dead.
Yep. And so now we have this inner war of the fact that the person that she was in love with for a long time in a fucked up way. Again, I think that's the only way she knows how to love is in a fucked up way.
Well, not only that, but he fucking groomed her. I don't give a fuck. Like, it's another story.
Yeah. So in walks Jenkins, and he's like threatening them, and he's telling him about how Aaron's there. Oh, so actually what happened was she got thrown in there, and Aaron's on the ground, like beat to shit, barely breathing. And so she crawls to him and it's like, Bradshaw. And then she looks and she's like, that's not Bradshaw, that's Aaron. So she's like, why is Aaron here? And then we learned that all of their backstory about how they've been interacting with Jenkins and everything like that. The Hades squad, who they were going at, who had been, they were meeting up with or whatever, was actually a part of the Dark Forces. And Jenkins has been recruiting people out to help fund his like underground operation thing that he's been doing. And it started off as like a black market stuff, and it's grown beyond that to be even more. Jenkins ends up, there's a bunch of back and forth that happens, but basically she puts on a front that she doesn't care about Bradshaw, basically. And then Jenkins ends up fucking her in front of everybody.
I know, which I just thought, like, I don't even know. It's very rapey.
It was so sick. And she stares at Bradshaw the whole time it's happening.
Which, okay, I don't know. This really bothered me because as the person that, like, you're not in love with me, like, we've never been exclusive, but you love me. Like, why are you making eye contact with me? Because, like, there's two things that's happening in my psyche. One, why aren't you helping me?
Mm-hmm.
And two, like, for him, like, looking at her, right? Like, I can't do anything about this. Like, I don't know. Like, it's a real fucked up.
Well,
like,
she did it. She was staring at him intentionally. She was like, I want you to see this happening to me, and I want you to see that I want this, was what she was trying to say. She was trying to say, like, I'm not in love with you, even though she is.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
It's
like, we
so
both know that
fucked
this
up.
is a fucking lie. Like, she's a fucking liar. Like, the whole thing was just...
Well, and Bradshaw sees through it, right? Because we get... so she ends up
But she also does it, too, right? Because she's trying to, like...
She's trying to get
him
out
to
safely.
leave. Like, yeah, okay. I forgot about that.
She wants him
I mean, I didn't
to
forget
leave.
about it, but
Yeah.
when it's happening, my brain's not thinking that. My
She's
brain's like, you fucking sick bitch.
Well, she knows that Bradshaw is not in any type of shape to fight off anybody at this point.
No.
And he's just going to get killed. So she's like, the best thing I can do is make sure he gets out safely, and I'll go with Jenkins.
I know this is dark, but it's just so many things I want to shake people. I'm like, no!
Yeah, it's bad. So she ends up leaving with Jenkins. Then Aaron and Bradshaw get out, and the Malum squad meets them, and they get extracted. Yeah. Right. So then she's off with Jenkins, and we get 3 years in the future at this point. And we get her POV where she's like, I've lived a life of luxury. I haven't had to wear any tactical
like
gear.
Italy or something? They're like some really like...
They're in... are they in Italy? They're on a frozen lake somewhere. She goes to Italy and Paris and like she goes on these extravagant trips and stuff all the time.
Yeah, because I was like, he takes really good care of her. Like, she's like...
Jenkins treats her like an absolute
Except for
princess.
the fact that she's like, I don't know, what would you call it? Not only did he groom her, but then he kidnapped her, and then he like...
Yeah, just his captive.
There you go,
she's
captive,
like,
that's the word.
She's like, there's a part of me that does love him, and I always will, because he did save me when I was initially there.
He groomed you.
Exactly.
He was like, this
he groomed you.
pretty girl.
But she also is like not in love with him, right? She's like, I love him, but I'm not in love with him like I am with Bradshaw. And she's like, I can't give him the pieces. She's like, I can have sex with him, but I'm not going to make love to him, basically. I'm not going to... She walks the river, walks the lake with him. She has all this free time. She's under guard at all times. She gets sent on all these extravagant things. He takes amazing care of her, but it's not what she wants, obviously.
And he knows
right?
that.
Yeah, and he's aware of that, but he's willing to accept pieces of her just to keep her. And
it's sick in its own fucking way.
Yeah, and she ends up they're walking the lake, and he's like, "Can you hum that song for me again?" Which is Davy Jones that he likes. So she like hums the song for him. And then that night, he's like, oh, I have to leave. There was an issue in Italy, I think. And so it was, she's like, oh, okay, like, I'll see you.
Oh, there was an issue in Italy. I'm just mixing up the, okay.
So what happened was the people that were left in the Malum squad basically spent a bunch of time plotting to take down Jenkins, and they took down whatever happened in Italy. They made a big issue.
Yes.
So then he had to go immediately take care of it. Bradshaw, she's like laying in her room, and she hears the door open, and she's like, well, my guards check on me all the time, whatever. Like, I don't even react. So she's just laying there, and all of a sudden this figure is towering over her, and she looks up and she sees Bradshaw, and she's like, Oh my god. Then he immediately they start kissing. Then he starts fingering her, and she's like, "We don't have time for this."
I know. I thought
Like,
that was really weird. Like, I was like, when it happened, I was like, who doesn't just run away?
Right. I'm
Who's like, let's just have sex right here?
it's like, I know you've missed each other, but maybe like don't
It's
make up
been
for lost
3
time
years.
right now. It's
3
been
years.
3 years.
Okay, I have to tell you, when this is all happening, I was like, how dare he not come back? What the fuck? How dare he? I was so mad listening to this story. I was livid for the 3 years. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's 3.5 years because it was 3 years of her talking about her time with him. And then 6 months later
Yeah.
is when Bradshaw
I'm
shows
just
up.
telling
so
you
3.5
that
years.
I was beyond mad.
And Bradshaw's like, you've never been alone. Cause she does. Like, she's like, he's like, I'm sorry it took me so long. He's like, I've been with you all the time, whether I was watching you on surveillance camera or across the lake in binoculars. I have been watching. He's like, I watched him fuck
Didn't she
her.
say that, like, she felt like somebody was watching her?
Yeah, she felt like there was always like a presence kind of like
Yeah.
watching over her. And so she'll figure out that that's Bradshaw. And then they end up running, and then she tries to have she's like, just try not to kill anybody. Like, I'm tired of people dying because of me. And so, and also, side note, because Jenkins trained her up to be this thing, right? And so he had fed her all these lies about these people that she was killing, and it turns out it was just his enemies that he wanted to kill.
Yeah,
They
right.
hadn't done anything wrong.
He was just...
So then that was a huge thing for her, because she's like, I've killed so many innocent people just because you told me to. And she's had to deal with that. And so now she's like, I don't want anyone else to die because of me. I'm over this. And they're escaping. So he like leaves. He's like, don't follow us and don't turn us in. Like, you're done. And then they're leaving. And then one of the guards had been the one to like fire a shot or whatever, because all of the guys ended up like descending on them and everything. And Jenkins ends up coming back. And they're in like this massive fight.
Yes.
Jenkins ends up getting killed and everything. And she ends up finding on his person, he had a music box that had Davy Jones that played on it. I don't remember if he had it physically on him or what.
I don't know
he
if
was
it was
going to give
physically
it
on
to her
him.
as
Yeah.
a present. So they escape, and then we cut to 5 years later or something like that.
Hold on. But I thought they thought Aaron didn't make
Yeah. So there was like an IED that went off, and Aaron was standing on it.
Yeah.
And he's like, just leave without me. So then they
That's
leave.
where I thought the leave me behind came from, was just leave me, it's fine.
Well,
But when you said the other scene, I was like, oh, I can see that too.
Yeah, so
I was
leave
like,
me
this whole story is leave me.
the leave me behind comes from Jenkins telling her to leave
I
me
got
behind.
it.
But
Like-
also it comes from the fact that Bradshaw never left her behind, right? So
Oh, see, there's too many fucking leave me behind.
but yeah, he's like, just go. He's like, this is my fault that anyone's even in this position. You guys need to go.
Yeah.
So he's standing there, and then it blows up, and Bradshaw's like, I have to go back to get him. And she's like, we can't. Like, we're not going to make it out.
No, fuck you. I'm not leaving my twin. This whole story, like, just fucking blew me away.
So yeah, so then they
I don't
run.
care how much I love you. That's my twin. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
can.
mean, it's true.
No.
They get into that massive fight. Jenkins dies, and then the two guys from the Malum squad come out, or one of the guys from the Malum squad, I think it's Jefferson, and then one of the guards, I think Pete or something like that,
Yeah.
has over their shoulder, one of Aaron's legs is completely blown off, and the other one is mostly gone. And so they're carrying him, and
Yeah.
they're like, oh my God, he made it. So then they get to the helicopter, they escape. Cut to, they're in the hospital, and she's like, I'm still on bed rest, but she's bringing them all coffee and stuff. And then Aaron's got, he has 2 prosthetics that he's working on. Bradshaw's still healing, and she like goes over, and he's like, do not fuck on that. He's like, do not fuck with me in this room. Do not, the two of you back the fuck away from each other. And I'm like, okay, Aaron, why do you care if they fuck in front of you now? Because before you were like turned on by it, now it's like a problem.
Oh, because he's can't like his legs, man. He's in pain. He's on drugs. He needs to like, I don't know.
Oh my
I thought
God.
about that too. I was like, this is weird, but I don't know.
Yeah. So we cut to 5 years later. They're living in a like a mountain cabin in the Scottish Highlands or whatever.
I'm so like down.
I know, right? And I think Bradshaw's bringing in wood for the fire and stuff, and they have a little boy. She and Nellie and Bradshaw do, and Aaron's living with them too. And their little kid's hilarious. Like, it's just funny. But they notice how there's a picture of her and Jenkins in there. I think there's stuff about, I think there might be a picture, or there's something of Abrams that is also in the house. And then she has like the music box and stuff. And there's just basically tributes to their old life and recognition that while they may have not been the best things ever, they're also like important parts of their story.
I mean, I get it.
But this, now they get to live out this quiet existence away from the dark forces and get to like have their family and all that kind of stuff. I think, as I know Aaron and Bradshaw are like really close and everything, I would lose my fucking mind if I had to live with my husband's twin forever. I guess it's just not I know that's like lots of families live together and they have multi-generational homes and all that kind of stuff, but I think it would drive me fucking insane to have to deal with Aaron all the time, especially after all the shit that happened.
Okay, so I thought about this, but my friend is a twin and her twin lives with her and her husband. And I think it's like hard because like even though like he's like the one that has to live with both of them, I think you get used to it.
I mean,
it's
if
just
my
like,
sister,
and then it also, but here's what helps though. Okay, there's like a buffer between you three because then they can bicker with each other.
Sure.
So I think it like,
well, like I would be fine if my sister lived with me. I don't know if my husband would handle it.
No, but that's
like,
what I'm saying. Like
but
he
I
like
also
knew it came as a package deal to a degree.
But I don't know that specifically in this situation, after he was basically the reason that we almost died, and I had to go live with this person that groomed me for 3 years, and I had this weird rubbing sexual situation.
Situation's weird. I don't know. I guess I didn't think about it. I don't know. It's weird. The whole thing's weird. I didn't think about it.
I guess it's just the whole thing's weird. That's just how we need to justify it. Okay.
It's dark romance. We just need to be like, it's dark. It's
This is what I'm so excited for the conversations we're going to have about all of these books during Dark Romance Month because everything's so fucked up. It's just sometimes you're just staring at the page like, what?
Yeah.
You know? So Star, what would you rate this book?
I think this one was a 4 for me.
Yeah.
I had to struggle with this one. I also, now that you've like certain things, I'm like, well, I didn't know that. On the Audible, it didn't sound like that. I'm still confused about the dressing room. Like, I was like, I didn't realize they went home. Somehow the Audible like skipped it. I don't know. Like, yeah, I think I get it a 4 because I think I definitely was confused.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you've said certain things, and I'm like, wait. Sometimes I wish I read it, but I don't have the energy to like.
That's fair. I gave this a 5 on the first read. I probably go to 4.5 on the reread with the audiobook. The problem, like I said, is the audiobook, like how we said, we take in information differently. In the audiobook, I was just like, what is going on?
But sometimes the audiobook is fun because you get the like.
Exactly. But I have to say, I love this world. I think it's a super fun, exciting world in terms of like being in the dark forces and like all of that lore and everything. And just it adds an element to, because I think like you have talked about, like the cutesy romance books get to be a little like monotonous for you, where it's like, okay, it's the same thing over and over again. But I think when you add, I mean, we see a lot of like violence and dark themes in dark romance. Obviously, that's kind of the point. But when you add kind of that military extra layer to it, and there's a heightened risk factor to everything that they do, I think it just adds to the plot. So I really enjoyed this, and it definitely did send me I guess she's a bunny, but it sent me down the rabbit hole of K.M. Moronova, and I love everything she's put out, so I'm excited to revisit this world again and talk some more about the setup for this book and the Easter eggs we will see in the Dark Forces duet. If you're following us on YouTube, I'm going to throw up a slide to where you can follow us on social media, and we will see you in the next one.